35192. Want to send me a text? AlanCoxShow.com is where you can watch us live. YouTube, who's helping out today? Flochin Dirkowitz. Or is it Flauchin? I don't want to mispronounce. Flochin Dirkowitz. Thank you so much for helping out back there.
Doing a great job, Flochin.
Your Cavaliers play tonight right here at home before they hit the road for a couple of games against the 0-4 Orlando Magic. It's a 7 o'clock tip-off tonight at the Romo Fijo. 6:30 is when the pregame will begin right after we get out of here. We'll get to the Poundcake sports break a little bit later on. I got my video from Terry the Goat for Week 8.
Yeah.
Show you that, and then we'll get her picks for Week 8 tomorrow. Also tomorrow, we're going to be having people here at the window to win tickets for Smashing Pumpkins and Jane's Addiction at the Romo Fijo on Saturday night. We're going to play some Pumpkins trivia.
Okay. And just to clarify again, anyone can come down?
Yes.
Okay. At what time?
Around 3:30.
3:30.
Because we're going to have some Bloodview Haunted House homies out there, too.
Okay.
And so around 3:30, somebody texted me and said, what if, right? They text me, and they go, what would a couple ladies get if they come up and smash their pumpkins on the window? Mary and I got cleavage last week. We didn't get to.
Some boobies.
And I said, well, if you come down tomorrow, you'd probably win some tickets. Because we have great tickets, like lower-level tickets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a VIP pair I'm going to give to somebody.
Oh.
And then they write back, well, now I wish I was a lady. Well, I thought you were asking for yourself, not theoretically.
Theoretically.
You know? Hey, just asking. They tricked me. But it is that time of year. So many tricks, so many treats. So tomorrow, around 3:30, we'll have people here at the window. I'm hoping, ideally, that I'll have Poundcake out there with a wireless mic. And that way, we'll point one of our cameras out there towards the window. And we'll have 5 winners getting themselves some lower-level tickets for the Pumpkin Show on Saturday. And then one person is going to win a VIP upgrade pair.
And we're at 668 Euclid now. We're not in Independence anymore because there's some people.
What if they show up?
Well, that's why I'm saying it, because there's people that, they kind of pop in and out of the show, so they might not have known that we even moved.
Good point.
So 668 Euclid.
You would not be able
miss
to
us. There's a big window.
If we were still at Oak Tree and I asked you to come up to our window,
that's impressive.
That would be a very
just
high
getting up there would be worth winning the prize.
Level of difficulty. So tomorrow around 3:30, we'll have people come up to the window.
It might 300,000 people to show up. We're a very popular show.
Well, I have 6 pair of tickets, so there will be a lot of disappointed people. Nevertheless,
but everybody's got to get a chance to answer.
I'm keeping it relatively unstructured, simply because this is kind of the canary in the coal mine. This is more for me to see how
do
something
window contests go?
Yes, something like this will work. Yes, between the wireless and them hearing me theoretically out there on the speaker, and being able to converse that way. This is kind of a test run for some bigger things that I want to do down the line.
I think we should also do a sidewalk weigh-in.
Oh, we can do that. A sidewalk weigh-in.
So petty.
Why does it matter if you do it in the kitchen?
Do it in front of
but
a
you're on the
crowd.
live stream when we do it.
I know.
Everybody watching sees what you weigh. What do you care? It's funny.
You would just show me how loose your pants are.
I know.
I walk in there today to put the camera in there, and he's got his pants half off. He's like, look at how loose this is. Everything loose is at the crotch.
If I had a nickel,
Yep.
No, I just don't want to take my shoes off on the sidewalk because it's dirty and it might be wet.
Again, if I had a nickel.
Dirty and might be wet.
Oh, I heard somebody's pants was coming off.
No, I was just showing him how loose they are on me. That's all.
Yeah, you were. What's up, baby?
Hi, Ghost Bag.
How's those pants doing?
They're fine.
How far off are they? How loose?
Well, I have them up over my belly button, so they're not coming off, but
You like loose as a goose, son.
hopefully that's the plan.
All right, well, I'm going to be waiting at home for you to get back.
So you're waiting now?
Yeah, I'm just going through the fridge right now. See what you got in here.
What do I got?
It looks like a bunch of frozen cucumbers. I don't know what that's about, but
There's only one cucumber, bitch. You're trying to play me?
making me a little nervous. And sometimes I don't even know why I'm so nosy. There's a whole bunch of things I can't unsee.
Just one cucumber. It's fine.
See no frozen cucumbers. All right, I had to poke my head in
All right.
because I heard some pants were coming off. I had to check up on that.
Bill
He's
is
flashing
being,
me.
He was being salacious. I showed him how much room I had left in my pants. These used to be my fat pants, and now I wear them, and I can put them up over my belly button, and they're not stretching. They're not making my stomach hurt or nothing. So I guess that's a good sign.
I guess so. I don't know. Good for you, I guess.
Right up over that pubis.
Yeah. You know I loves me some pubis.
Yeah, you don't want me to block the pubis.
All right, I get out of here. All right, bye. I'll see you at home.
All right, bye.
Frozen cucumber.
The Loudville tickets that I had have been claimed. Congrats, Mike.
Let's go, Loudville. Next to Mary.
And I'm kind of jealous of you, Mary.
She
You're up there with
hates
the real fans.
basketball.
I don't hate it. I just don't find. I mean, I'm sure once I'm there, I always have a good time. But it's not something I would not watch on television for pleasure.
Uh-huh.
It's my least favorite sport. Brian's very into basketball. He was very excited when I told him I got free tickets. He was like, "Oh my god!"
Because he
I'm
loves
so
free stuff, too.
excited." He loves free things. He loves basketball. He loves doing things.
I'll send him a picture of what it's like in my seats.
Why don't you just take him down there?
'Cause I'm
You
taking
come
Grandma.
sit with me and let Grandma and Brian hang out in Lowerville.
Ah,
The
those two-
real fans
No,
can hang
no.
out at the Lowerville.
No, the way those two complain, though.
That poor
Drive.
server. The entire section
Yeah.
would move seats after
Yeah.
Brian
Yeah, just
and
let the two
Grandma.
of them kibitz with each other for 2.5 hours.
That's funny.
Alan, is any idea as to why my iHeartRadio app plays commercials in Spanish? I don't know, maybe you're geotagged for somewhere else. I don't know. I'm not supposed to talk about how we're flipping to reggaeton in Spanish, but I guess that's La Fuerza Musical.
La Buzzard.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't ever.
Yeah,
I don't hear the app obviously while I'm doing the show, so I don't know anything. When people ask me questions about what's going on in the moment on the app, I have no idea.
And we've also done our best to have the commercials that played in the podcast drop at a time when it would make sense for commercials. But it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get that to work.
No, nope. As much as they love selling those podcasts, boy, they just can't figure out where to actually put the commercials.
And we place them.
Yeah.
We say this is where they should go.
Yes, every
and they
day I
"That's
place
a-
them."
Thank you for that suggestion.
Yeah.
We will take it under advisement.
We're just gonna shoehorn it in between a couple of syllables,
Mm-hmm.
and then
There's
people
probably
can
one playing right now.
yeah, and then we can hope people can follow along. How about that?
And it's probably for something that's not even near you.
And the same one over and over again. So you don't know when you're going to hear it, but you know what you're going to hear. That's the fun part. And now you get them in Spanish. Hey, maybe you'll learn something. Now, just make sure that they're not like for Rosetta Stone or Babbel or something like that, because obviously they're trying to teach you another language.
Yeah.
And you're just not listening. You're complaining to me like Brian and Grandma at a Cavaliers game. What are they complaining about, by the way? What
Doesn't
would
matter.
they theoretically be complaining
Grandma
about?
doesn't complain about things at the game, but she's got her. They're not even complaints. They're just
Particular people.
her particular, like the way she goes through life. And when you're retired and you don't have that much going on, the little things matter that much.
You're used
more.
to things the way you like them.
Mhm.
Yes.
But Brian is not older and retired.
You wouldn't know that by talking to him. He
Oh.
is much like a 70-year-old woman.
Okay.
That's a lot.
So he is, he's like an old man in a
He's
young
an old
man's
man.
body.
Yeah, he has a lot of old man tendencies, but that's okay. That's who he is. No big deal.
Right.
He's very, he likes things in a particular order.
And a
like
lot
Bill
of
said,
that
a
comes
particular
from living
way.
by yourself. I mean,
Yes.
until obviously the last year, he was living by himself. He was
Sure.
the king of his castle.
Exactly.
And now he's
the
been
castle.
demoted to duke or something.
Hmm.
There's a duchess there now.
There is, literally.
He's been demoted
Mhm.
in his own house.
Yeah.
Grandma, she's queen of the castle. She can do whatever she wants to do, whenever she wants to do it.
Which is
Yes.
all the more upsetting when something doesn't go your way.
Unless she has like a
Right.
light burnout or anything like that.
Then she calls you.
Or she has to log into one of her accounts. Then then I have to do it.
I mean, being older and retired is very similar to being young and childless
Yeah.
because all of your time is yours. All of your money is yours.
Yep.
Oh, no,
It's
no,
a
no.
beautiful way to live.
Grandma's money is not hers. She's got
It's
a
Bill's.
bunch of grandkids. No, I don't take any of her money. She's got a bunch of grandkids, and they all have birthdays. A lot of them have birthdays starting in the middle of September through November.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but it's still her
she-
money. Like she's
right, but
Yeah.
she feels obligated to buy them all presents, and so she's always like, "It's that time of year."
Here we
And
go.
So when I
When-
can do things like this and take her to a Cavs game, make her only pay for everything that I want, make her buy me
Pretzels,
jerseys.
hot dogs,
I'm
New
talking
Jersey.
about- yeah.
Oh, jerseys.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Which I
sign-
just sell.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
that would work.
That's a smart way to do it.
But she pays for it. So she's like, "How we never wear that jersey?" I'm like, "Oh, because
Oh, I don't. I lost it.
I wore it last
somewhere.
time
I
I
forgot
went.
it.
I had
No,
it
she-
reprinted as Perez Bilton.
it's my treat when we go.
My
So she's not your benefactor, is what you're saying.
No.
She benefits
Mhm.
from your
Right.
generosity.
That's right.
when my sister and I went to the Redwoods last year, we stayed in for 2 nights. We stayed in a really nice seaside Airbnb. It was
Mhm.
gorgeous, so awesome. But it was us two at the time in our 20s, and I might have been 30, doesn't matter, and 3 retired couples. And they're talking about how they travel and they hike and they go to the Redwoods twice a year and they go to Vegas and they do this, they do all this stuff. And I looked at my sister, I was like, man, I want to be retired. She goes, bro, you're kind of retired. She's like, you travel.
You're kind of retired?
Yeah. She goes, you travel around, you work 45 minutes a day, and you get to kind of see all different parts of the country. I said, yeah, but Oklahoma City. I'm not going
Yeah, but
to
also
the Redwoods.
I mean, the appeal of retirement is for a lot of people. Hopefully, they've got some kind of big nest egg.
right. And
Just
that's what I
going through the
explained, too.
motions of being retired is not fun.
I said I'm retired, but I still have to work for the money to act like I'm
Right.
retired. These people just don't. There's no pressure.
you're traveling for work.
exactly.
Yeah.
But to her, my job is cool. So it's like, oh yeah, you're kind of retired. You get to travel around and explore new
But now
places.
she's got a
and-
cool job.
yeah, she does have a cool job.
Everybody thinks, I was just talking to somebody about this morning. Everybody thinks that a cool job isn't a real job.
right, 100%.
I don't care what people
that
say.
there's no work that
People
goes into
don't
it.
think that I do a real job,
Mhm.
right? That's why your siblings have no problem calling whenever,
Yes.
right? If somebody wants to yell at you,
Yep.
whenever, right?
Screaming.
Bill's
my face.
ex-wife used to do this,
Yep.
and I love her. She'd call mid-show because people don't think this is a real
yeah.
job. They think that we're just, I got one thumb up my ass and the other one's just pushing fart buttons,
Mhm.
right? They don't think it's a real job.
Yeah.
They go, oh, well, you do. I
It's
go,
because, you know what I think it is? It's because people think they can do it. If they think they can do your job, then it's not a real job. So
Well,
people
no.
think they can, all you
I
do
don't
is
think
talk.
I don't think I can do other people's jobs.
No, not us. They'll be like, oh, I could talk for 4 hours a day. That's nothing. That's what
Well, no,
I mean
you
by
could.
that.
Just no one would want to listen to it.
Sure.
That's the big difference, So it's just a weird thing how people treat other,
Yeah.
Like if your dad worked in a factory or
Sure.
something, right?
Mhm.
Were there long periods of the day where he was unreachable because he was in the factory?
They didn't have their cell phones on them. His phone went in a locker
and this
every day.
pre-cell phone even.
Well, yeah. So
I'm sure they had
before
hard
that-
lines, but
Yeah, if
would
you had
they
to
go?
call,
and-
they'd go page him, Tony,
Okay.
your kid's on the phone.
but it probably had to be an emergency.
You don't call their work. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
My mom never. I do remember we could call my dad because my dad was an engineer, but he had an office and a thing. And so growing up, extension 248, please,
Yeah.
is how we would get. We were telling all these stories that I kind of forgotten about this summer when my dad died. And my brother was like, remember extension 248? And I was like, oh my God, extension 248.
Mhm.
Because we had to call my dad. We would call, and that was his office or whatever. But you usually didn't do that.
Right.
So,
Couldn't imagine calling my dad when he was working.
hells no.
0% chance.
He was, because my dad was running a company and he ran it with emotion. So all day long, he's fired up. And so I wouldn't call him and be like, hey, Dad, could you pick this up on the way up?
Right.
No, I call my mom, but
I'm
I would
out
never.
of Teddy Grahams.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
no way.
You know what? It's funny that since my sister has started her, we'll call it a business.
OnlyFans.
Her OnlyFans
Yeah.
business. She's kind of getting the peek into what it's like to run a business. And I was like, welcome to working for yourself. This is what it is. It's whenever you have time to make these things happen during the day. And you are essentially running your own company. No one's going to do the work for you. If you want to make money, you have to do it. You have to promote yourself. She's like, I have never been on my phone more in my life. I said, well, now do you have a little bit more empathy for why I'm always on my phone? You know, like there's things you have to do on your phone if you want to make money.
People blanketly condemn people on their phone.
This is where my work happens.
Yes. Yes. Because, you know, Gwen doesn't give me a hard time. She knows. But like my daughter will say things like, you know, you're on your phone. I go, yes, this is what I do in the morning. From the minute I wake up, I have to put something together.
There's no newspapers like back in the day.
I mean, there's a plain dealer right in here.
Ew, gross.
You know,
paper.
Things like 12 pages long now.
Right.
I did hear this the other day. This is a complete shift. But I want to give Alan not even credit, but just let him know he's not alone. There are people doing the 10-seconding ahead. And this is a person that he's a pretty prominent guy. Steve-O was on a podcast I listened to. And he's talking about how he 10 seconds through shows. And so you're in good company with a man that is known for having so much brain damage.
Listen, it's, but he's got a sweet grill.
Yeah.
No, I've had listeners say, call me a genius because of this 10-seconding thing. Everyone was chastising me. Everyone in this room, everyone in this room telling me I'm crazy.
Psychotic.
But no genius is recognized in his own time.
God.
So I assume that down the road, after I'm dead and my ashes are floating to the bottom of some body of water, that people will go, who came up with the 10-seconding? And they'll go, there was some douche back in the day named Alan Cox who did this. And I assume that there will probably be, you know, as streaming becomes even more and more and more just the standard, I'm sure that there will probably be plaques, statues, erected in my honor. Those now.
Don't just call it the Cox button.
AC content
just Cox
skipper.
Ahead. Yeah.
AC second skipper. And then
just Cox Ahead a little bit.
Yeah. They call me the skipper. And not even in a nautical sense.
Did you watch the season or the finale of The Patient last night?
Did not. I was so tired last night. Gwen was out having dinner with a friend that she hadn't seen in a long, long time. So it was me and my daughter. And I put her to bed early, obviously, because she has school. And I could barely stay awake. I was literally asleep by like 9:15 last night.
Dude, that was happening. Brian and I were both falling asleep on the couch last night because The Patient's only like 20 minutes. The finale was 45.
Yeah.
So it was like 9:30, and he had found some weird new Guillermo del Toro.
Cabinet of Curiosities.
Yeah. Is that Benicio del Toro? Are they related?
No,
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Anyway, so we watched an episode of that. And it was like 45 minutes, and I'm like, I am nodding. Like, my head is, like, doing the dip thing and waking me back up. And he's doing the exact same thing. I was like, let's just turn this off and go to bed. And
Plus,
it was
those
like
are
9:30.
Those are, like, dark and slow. And,
yes.
It's not gonna keep you awake.
Predictable, by the way. I figured out the first one in, like, 10 minutes. I was like, this, and this. You know what I think it is?
So fun to watch TV with a person like that.
Here's what it is. I think I'm too smart for horror. I think that's what it is. I think
horror's that hard to figure out.
That's what I mean.
I don't think people.
No, I think I'm a genius.
I don't think people are watching it going like, I would have never thought. Like, I don't think these turns are that.
Okay, I still don't understand horror then, because I'm like, if it's not figure it out, and it's whatever, the gore, I don't know, whatever. So we watched that, and we're both like, it's like 9:30, and he's like, but it's so early. I'm like, it doesn't matter. We're both asleep on the couch anyway.
It's not early for a dude who gets up at 4 in the morning.
He likes to stay up, man, until like 11, 12. Dude only gets a couple hours of sleep.
No wonder he's falling asleep all the time.
That's what it is.
It's called sleep hygiene, Mary. You should look into it.
I tell him all the time, eat dinner. He's like, I want to feel like I'm doing something. Because if he comes home, eats dinner, and goes to bed at 8:30, he's like, I don't have a life.
It's like he's in the 4th grade.
Exactly.
Hey, Brian.
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
How are you?
Great. Thrilled to talk to you.
Same. What can I do for you?
I just heard this story about a guy named Terry, the snake guy, or Terry the snake killer from Cleveland. No, it's Terry from Cleveland, and he tells the guy on the radio this story, and this is a recording of Terry and the interviewer going back and forth, and Terry's telling them about going to the Everglades and doing battle with pythons and alligators. You know, the big python, Burmese python hunt thing in the Everglades, right? So he's telling them that that's what he did, and he gets down there and he gets into a situation where he's being confronted by a Burmese python and an alligator at the same time. And
you're talking about a guy who goes by Jungle Terry.
Really?
I think so. I think he does live animal shows, and I think I've seen him at like a children's party a couple of years ago. It's the guy I'm thinking of. I think that's the guy you're talking. A local guy. That's the guy you're talking about.
Okay.
But the point is
It
what,
blew
Brian?
my mind what's that?
The point is what?
I was call it. I had to find out if you knew about this guy, and evidently you do.
If that's the guy, I've heard of him.
It was the wildest story, and I immediately thought of you and your show because this is the kind of stuff that gets brought up.
Sure, yeah.
And all
I
kinds of
understand.
crazy, funny stuff. So I appreciate you taking the call and telling me what you know about
Okay,
it.
thank you, Brian. I appreciate it. You think of Big Snake, you're thinking AC, Bill, is what he's trying to say.
I see what you did there.
You like that?
Yeah, I didn't say I liked it. I, see what
I
you
said
did.
I know what you did there.
Brian could do
Very
our job.
accusatory.
Talking about people that could do our job. Brian could do our job.
Yeah, of course. I mean, thank you, Brian. I've got a break. If you want to text 35192, I will have another $1,000 for you at 3:30. We'll get right back after the break, and I'll have tickets for comedian Steve Trevino. He's doing a show at the Agora in January. 35192 if you want to text, and we'll be back.
The Alan Cox Show.
On our free iHeartRadio app.